The whole city was fast asleep thanks to the green sleeping gas. On the other hand, Mehul and Alia were speeding their way towards Dr. Sanjana's house. They find themselves at a crossroads. There are 3 roads that lead up to Dr. Sanjana's house. The first one covers the whole city and is the longest route. The second one goes through the forest, where they might encounter wild animals. The third one goes through Street 81 and is the shortest route, but it's usually extremely crowded with traffic. Can you guess which route should Mehul choose? A, B, or C? The whole city is covered in the green gas and everyone has fainted due to it, so there will be no one on Road C. Hence that's the correct choice. They move forward on Route C and come across a group of policemen who stop them in the middle of the road. After catching a mere glimpse, Mehul understands that they were fake policemen. But how? Can you guess? Notice that none of them have masks on, but haven't fallen unconscious yet. This means that they had already consumed the antidote and belonged to the gang, responsible for the chemical blasts.
Alia, be ready. Anything can happen right now.
Mehul puts his mask on and gets out of the car. Almost immediately, they form a circle around Mehul and catch him. Alia hops out of the car and punches all 4 of the fake policemen. They fall to the ground and pass out instantly.
Alia, how did you do that?
Sir, I've never told you, but I have been a karate champ.
Suddenly, a fake policeman pulls out a weird-looking gun and shoots it in the air. The bullet lights up in the sky, exuding a variety of bright lights.
Alia, catch this guy immediately. He must be sending a signal to someone.
Alia twists his neck and the guy gets unconscious.
Why did you make him faint? I told you to catch him.
Sir, we can insert a microchip in him and track his location when he goes to meet his boss.
Great idea.
They attach the microchip to the man and put the rest of them in Mehul's car's hood and reach Dr. Sanjana's house. They get out of the car and suddenly a red light is seen, pointing on Alia's forehead. Mehul immediately understands that someone was targeting her using their laser gun. He pushes Alia away from it and ends up falling on top of her. Suddenly, the laser gun's target shifts and the bullet casts a hole inside the car. Mehul gets up from the ground and looks for the shooter, but he had managed to escape.
I think the gang is onto us. They are hell-bent on turning the entire city into a graveyard.
As they were about to step inside Dr. Sanjana's house, they notice that the door is locked with a password. They had to pick out the odd one out from this list. Can you guess? Think properly and let me know your answer in the comments below. Since English, Spanish and French are all European languages, Chinese becomes the odd one out, as it's an Asian language. They press the correct option and enter the house. Dr. Sanjana was inside the lab, which was sealed and could only be opened with their fingerprints. Mehul opens the lab and they move inside. They saw that Dr. Sanjana was laying in her chair, with her headphones on. By looking at the scene, can you guess if she's sleeping or just listening to music? Notice that an ant is crawling on Dr. Sanjana's arm. This means she's fast asleep. Just then, Mehul wakes her up.
Dr. Sanjana, you must have been in the lab for quite some time. That's why you have no idea what's going on outside. A gang is responsible for a chemical bomb blast, which has put the entire city to sleep. I'm about to visit scientist Bulbulea. These 5 men had already consumed the antidote to the chemical, used their blood to create an antidote for the entire city.
Alia stays back with Dr. Sanjana to help her, and Mehul leaves to meet scientist Bulbulea. But to reach him, he had to cross a maze. Can you help him reach the other side? Which route should he choose? A, B, or C? Comment down your answer. Route A reaches the scientist somewhat like this. He starts moving forward on the road, but suddenly, an army of fighters surround Mehul's car and open fire on him. There were 6 people and had Jaikal Army written on their clothes.
Impossible. Jaikal's army. But he's been on the run for years now.
The army begins shooting off Mehul's car's tires and puncture it. But since the car was bulletproof, Mehul was safe and sound. They start moving towards the car while still firing bullets.
I won't be able to survive if I get out of the car. I'll have to put my car's special abilities to test today.
He presses the red button beside the steering wheel, and out comes a gun from the sides of the car. It instantly starts firing bullets and kills all of Jaikal's army within seconds.
I have to reach Scientist Bulbulea discreetly, or else Jaikal's army will attack me again.
He hides his car in the bushes of the forest and reaches the scientist's house on foot. Even though the main door was locked, Mehul understands that Bulbulea was inside the house. But how? Can you guess? Notice that water is running down the pipe on the side. This means that someone is using the loo. Mehul immediately enters the house and is shocked upon seeing what was going on inside. Someone had tied the scientist's hands and legs and had also taped his mouth. They had tied him inside the bathroom and the floor was flooded with water. This must be the water running from the pipe. Mehul rushes towards the scientist and frees him from the bondage. The scientist then narrates how some people tied him inside the washroom, stole something from his lab and escaped. He somehow managed to break the pipeline so as to provide a signal to Mehul.
Your on the toes thinking saved you today. But the question remains, why did those people spare your life? Interesting. Very interesting.
Both of them then moved towards the lab inside the scientist's house. But it was locked with a password.
What's the code?
Scatterbrained Bulbulea then tells Mehul that he has forgotten the password.
You're probably one of the smartest people I know. You invent new things every day, and yet you can't remember a single password. What should we do now?
The scientist then tells Mehul that through the forgot password option, the system will present a puzzle. They can solve it and enter the lab. By looking at this image, can you guess which one of these is the odd one out? A, B, or C? Think properly and let me know your answer in the comments below. Notice that this part is missing in picture C, hence it is the odd one out. Mehul chooses the correct options and enters the lab.
I wonder what they stole from here.
Both of them scan and examine the lab carefully, and just then, the scientist yells to announce that they had run away with the gas launcher.
What is a gas launcher? What does it do?
The scientist then explains Mehul that, as the name suggests, the machine is used to launch a large amount of gas in the air. For example, if we need to spread a fragrance throughout the city, you can use the gas launcher.
Interesting. This means they use this gas launcher to spread the chemical gas all over the city, which has made people unconscious.
Just then, Mehul hears a beeping sound and the lights go off. There was a huge blast the next second in the scientist's house. Someone has planted a bomb inside the house. Maybe that's why they left him alive. Have Mehul and Bulbulea succumbed to this bomb blast? If yes, then who will save the city? What will happen next? Get answers to all these questions in the next episode. Thank you.